I actually completely forgot to bring up executive dysfunction. Like, the reason that you should do the disposable plates thing isn't because it sucks to do the dishes. It's because you straight up just might not get around to it. And the reason that if you're working, especially if you're working from home, you should have someone like a friend or partner or like just anybody that you trust to help you is because like it was really easy when I was pregnant to just like go over to my desk. Like my bed was 3 feet away from my desk, so I could just go over to my desk, open my laptop, and then start typing and doing my work from home. Okay, but then after I had the baby and, moved into my new apartment and um, started, trying to become a more involved parent because I was not that involved at first. I just like, I'm going to go to the office, I'm going to pump now, leave me alone. Oh, I didn't go over pumping either. Okay, so anyway, it takes me like 2 or 3 days to finish an assignment that used to take an hour. And that's because your executive functioning decreases. Your brain will be all over the place. You'll be like, oh, okay, I'm finally going to get some work done. Oh, shoot, I need to eat something. Oh, no, the timer went off. It's time for me to pump. Okay, I have to pump. I have to rinse out the tit kit. I have to feed the baby. Or, if your partner feeds the baby, that's great. But you still have to, rinse out your pump bottles, rinse out your kit so that your pump components don't develop thrush. And then, you know, you're done pumping, like you pumped for 15 minutes and then you fed the baby or whatever, and then you have to go and use the bathroom, and then, you know, you have to do this, you have to do that, it takes forever. Oh, the baby wants your attention, and they're so cute that you can't just like say I'm busy, um, or your partner has to use the bathroom, or your friend or whoever's helping you has to use the bathroom, so you have to look after the baby, and you can't really do your work while you're doing that, and like god forbid this is also, I should let you know, for first time mothers, because if you have other kids, then that's a whole other thing. That's not something I really have experience with. I also forgot to go into how pumping and breastfeeding are sensory hell experiences. Now, my baby did not take the breast because, he was fed through a tube when he was in the hospital, and then they switched him to bottles, and I wanted them to switch him to breast, but they decided that wasn't really a priority, and, I tried working with lactation specialists, but in these trying times, no one's actually coming out to the home, right, to help. So that didn't really help me. So I have just always pumped. And at some points, if I tried to breastfeed him, he would just start crying, and the bottle's a little easier for them anyway. So I didn't go over how much pumping, how uncomfortable it is. Like, you're supposed to do the fastest, shallowest setting for the first 2 minutes, and then go to um, a slower, like halfway, and then less deep, like 30%, I think. No, slower and then more deep. Slower and deeper. Like 30% speed, and then like from like down, like you start at 20 and then you go up to like 30 or 35%. Like, it varies with each pump, but I'm just going to encourage you to do whatever is comfortable for you. Like, your body will get the message. Your breasts will produce milk. If they don't, formula's okay. I recommend Similac Pro Sensitive. We actually started him on NeuroPro. Enfamil NeuroPro is what the hospital gave us, but just in case your baby is like mine and had digestive issues, we use this Similac Pro Sensitive, and it's specifically for fussiness and gas due to lactose sensitivity, and you will only need to be mindful of that for the first 3 or 4 months. After 4 months, it's okay to switch to NeuroPro or whatever. Hopefully your baby will not have a coconut allergy, because all formulas have coconut oil in them, and that sucks. I do actually recommend that you get you get a can of formula just in case it takes a few days for your milk to come in, or just in case you underproduce. Like, I don't produce enough milk for babies every feed, so what I end up doing is I fill a bottle with 4 ounces of water, and then I put in 2 scoops of formula, and then I shake it, mix it, and then I'll put in 4 ounces of milk. Okay, so that way he's getting half milk, half formula for every meal. And I have in the freezer here, I've been able to save up a little bit of milk for when we're between formula, because we get it shipped to us. But for when we're between formula, or I used to just, like, when I had to go to work, I just pull out some milk from the freezer. But pumping does not feel good. You're probably not going to like it if you have sensory issues, but you want to pump to avoid engorgement and mastitis. Engorgement is when your breasts get too full of milk and then they become hard and uncomfortable, and then mastitis is when they get infected from having too much milk in them, and you want to avoid those things. The hospital will give you an electric pump, but if you can also go on Nextdoor and get like a backup pump, because my pump actually kind of decreased in usability after like the first month or the first few weeks or so. And then my backup pump is Spectra, which I actually really like this because it has a timer, and then it has this light on it, and then you can hit this. This is for the first 2 minutes, and then you do have to keep an eye on the time. It automatically changes it to the fastest, shallowest pump, and then you press it again, and then it changes back, and then you can increase the speed with the cycle, and then the vacuum, which is self-explanatory. It shuts off automatically after 30 minutes. So I really, really like that. And I really hope that was actually pumping at, or pointing at the pump, and not like just kind of, I couldn't actually see it, and I can't flip the camera with this app, so, Okay, you're also going to want to stock up on vitamins. Now, my doctor told me to take postnatal. The hospital will probably prescribe you supplements. If they prescribe you iron, it's to keep you from growing anemic. You want to take that with a laxative, because iron hardens things. But also for other supplements, just get some gummy vitamins, because those are going to be the easiest to take unless you're like allergic to sugar, and then I don't recommend that. But I take these just because it's easier to remember than filling up my vitamin. I have a pill box, but I never remember to fill it up, and then when I fill it up, I never remember to take them. Whereas this is just by my bed, or it's by my little area here. This is not my bed. This is my recliner in the living room. So, and again, I'm really going to plug frozen meals. Like, even if you make your own meal and then freeze it, that's great, because it cuts down on your total just meal prep, because you might not have the energy to meal prep, and you might have just like a few things that you like to eat. So just like stock up on the things that you like to eat, and then take vitamin supplements to stay healthy and all of that. Also, you're going to be probably fatigued. You're not going to feel like exercising much, but you do need to do a little bit of activity. So I recommend short postnatal workouts. It doesn't matter if you're working out for 5 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, as long as you're working for some amount of minutes a day, I think. That's like my personal opinion. Sometimes I work out for 0 minutes a day, and that's not a good habit. But I want you to do better than me, at least, at that. But I also don't want you to become overwhelmed, because if you have 60 things that you're doing for 5 minutes a day, that's like an hour of extra stuff that you're doing per day. You know what I mean? So I don't want, I want you to be healthy and stuff. And I want to reduce your sensory hell as much as possible with these tips. So, okay, that was my part 2. If I think of anything else, I will upload a part 3. But thank you for sticking with me for this and for being patient with my rambling and stuff.